right, season's greetings to all of us, and thanks once again for joining us on Ready to Work, powered by Absa. My name is Rev Eskin, as always, your host for our very interactive show right here. I believe you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube or even Zoom. If you're here and beyond what we discuss, you have anything you want to add, kindly drop it in the comment box. Today's session is going to be very interactive. I'm joined by some very great personalities, and for a while now we've been running this program for all of you guys at home, but we decided to bring in here part of you guys to come share the experience with that before we get into that. But at Absa, what we do is that our goal is to be a real force, a good force, okay, in playing a key role in shaping our society, building the skills and development skills for every single person so that we grow our economy hand in hand. Now, profound global changes in the use of tech, okay, and the nature of work have urgent implications on how our education goes, how we educate young people, how we share information on how to grow ourselves when it comes to the jobs that we get in finding the right employable skills as human beings and beyond. Creativity, improving skills through which we can become better people in the work field, even for students in schools, but people who are still under training, how to build yourself the right way so that once you're out of school, you cross over smoothly from the world of studies into the world of work. We've done all that through. And there's a growing awareness, okay, on the value of soft skills for both employees and then productivity and the healthy development of young people in general. That's basically what we've been touching on for months now. Now, the development of soft skills is deeply intertwined with academic and technical skills as well as development. Though soft skills are increasingly seen to be beneficial to the youth in all domains, these skills are poorly understood. That is why Absa one day decided, let's create the Ready to Work platform so that we can create a good atmosphere for young people and old people who want to get into the work field, the right skills that you won't learn in school, skills that your university won't teach you, skills that you'd have to go and pay a company to teach you. We're giving you all that for free on one great platform. And so that's basically a little bit about Absa's Ready to Work platform. It's been a wonderful journey. People have joined us online. On our social media, we've had countless responses on how good things have gone. That is why we decided to put together today's edition, basically to discuss the impact of Ready to Work, the platform online, and then the show on here through all that. So I'm joined by a lady, Angela Manya Kofi. Angela is with us here, and then Emmanuel Owusu Ej Ampem, as well as Nana. I'll just let these guys introduce themselves briefly, and then we'll just set the ball rolling. But if you have a question, you have a contribution, don't forget, just put it in the comment box or get on Twitter. Ready to Work is the hashtag. As soon as you put that in, the team will put it up, and then we'll move. So, Bossman, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
What's your name and what do you do?
My name is Emmanuel Owusu Ej Ampem. I'm from the University of Ghana. I read English and Political Science in Liaison. I'm currently with the Holland Insurance. I assist with partnerships and grow business.
Nice. Madam.
I
almost called her a name though. That's just backstage conversation.
Okay, so Angela is literally somebody who is passionate about humanity. I'm studying Bachelor of Business Administration in Human Resource Management, a final year student of the Methodist University College, Ghana. And currently still in school, I've had the chance to experience Ready to Work, both the models and then the webinar. I've enjoyed a few sessions, and I think it's quite impactful. So I'm here to give my tidbits about it.
I like that. Nana Kwame.
Nana
Usu, sorry.
Thank you very much, and a good morning to all the viewers.
Great.
My name is Nana Usu Adakwa. I'm a student of GIMPA, Learning Procurement and Supply Chain. Currently, I work with Prudential Life Insurance. That's what I do.
Great. Now, Angela shared her opinion on what she thinks about it, briefly. But I just want us to start the conversation off by being very honest about Ready to Work, the models and the webinar. How impactful has it been for all of us? What is our opinion about it, first and foremost?
Okay, so I think that I got to know the Absa Ready to Work when I was in Liaison with the Career and Counseling Center, because most of the times what they do is that they control the email system in Liaison. So whenever there are opportunities, they actually just share it to us. So I saw the communication in there, then I got interested because I have always been someone who is interested in banking, finance, insurance, and pensions. So when I saw the Absa Ready to Work, that I was on campus. So I'm thinking of how to, fit into the finance space. Though my course in Legon
What's
was
political science?
English and political
Yeah, yeah.
science. So you think that, what are you doing? A student that reads English and political science, what then do you think about finance and banking? So I was like, okay, let me get in there, get to know what, at least better understand what is the ready to work. Possibly they could assist with, skills. They could assist with experiences. People would come and share their experiences, so that can also, guide me in my. So that is the reason. That's the basic reason. And I think when I got on, I also tried to share to my colleagues as well, reading English, because we're all like, what do we do after school? Because you read English. Then my dad asks you, are you going to teach English? So then we got curious. We actually wanted to know what is in there. And I think that I have never regretted joining.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful opinion, honestly. And I mean, I really relate. Along the line, I really wanted to jump in, but I had to let you finish. I personally also did political science in Legon too.
Wow.
Yes, just that I had a little bit of economics in that. I think economics was actually the main thing I did.
Yeah.
But right after uni, I mean, I was still torn between doing what I really wanted to do inside and then doing what the society wants me to do, which definitely had a little bit of finance in there. But unlike, us who had the opportunity of learning this, I didn't get any of these. And so I perfectly understand the curiosity that drove you in here, and just like you said, you've never regretted any moment in there. We're going to break things down in the course of that, but Angie, let's talk to you, Sue, as well. How did you chance up on Ready to Work first and foremost, and how impactful has it been to
Well, I interned with Absa.
you? Oh,
Yes, so I think it was a prerequisite for you to do the Ready to Work. So I got the link and I joined, and it was people skills, money skills, entrepreneurial skills, work skills. I'm like, what is this about? And after they said I'm supposed to be certified after I go through the session. So I thought I'm just going to read through it and then I get my certificate. But then there's a series of tests you have to take for you to get the certification.
yeah.
And I passed all of them.
You did?
Yes. But I got stuck at
that's
people skills.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I that bad with people? Like, why?
But then I'm sure before that you thought you were very good with people's skills.
No, people tell me I'm quite an ambivert. I'm an ambivert. So people tell me that sometimes I'm quite withdrawn from people. So when the thing happened, I was like, am I that bad with people? Even this thing is telling me I'm so bad with people. So I had to take the test twice. And I was so sure of my answers. But it would still take me back.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the correct one? And then I passed my test. So I was like, okay, this is interesting because they have practical examples of the whole situation. Like they're literally telling you a story about someone and how the person could have invested, like money skills, how the person could have invested to make it better. And you as an advisor, what would you advise the person after taking the test? So I think it was quite educative. And for somebody who has not engaged in any formal work or been in any formal corporate institution before, it helped me a lot because I actually learned how to write my CV on there.
Great.
They gave me insights on the things people need to see. Your recruiter, what he or she needs to see in your CV. Because if you write 10 pages, nobody's going to read that.
True.
So it was quite impactful for me. I really, really loved it. I really loved it.
Thank you so much. Nana Uzu,
Yes, sir.
how did you come across Absa's Ready to Work platform?
Okay, so I share a similar story with her.
Nice.
I interned with Absa, but I realized that joining the models is a prerequisite before you are certified to have the internship. I got stuck at the place we have the money skills.
Okay,
That
so
was where
hers
my
was people
problem
skills
was.
and yours was money skills.
Yes. Initially, I thought I'm a guy, so I know stuff about money. So what I did was, in the portal, I clicked on chapter 1, chapter 2. I really didn't read because I thought I
Just
knew
brushed
it.
through it, yeah.
Yes. But I realized I was not getting the 80% pass mark. But afterwards, going through everything and reading it, I realized that it is more than whatever we studied in school.
True.
This is more practical. This is something that, even as I'm now, I'm still applying most of the things in wherever I go to. And so far, so good. I'll say the program has been so much beneficial.
I like that. So 3 different opinions, 3 different people with different backgrounds of study, getting in there. And I'm sure by now if you didn't take advantage of the model, Well, it's still on, but then now you know how practical things are. People get on the platform, you read through the chapters, you're actually educated on what you need to know, and then you're tested to see if you actually make the cuts onto the next one. And so it's not like it's just here, we sit and then discuss what we're supposed to discuss. But then now, let's come back to what you guys studied. I'm very much interested in your political science and English. How many years ago was this, or you're still in there?
No, so I completed in 2020.
2020.
So we are the COVID graduates.
Yeah, the COVID boys.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Now, in the course of your study, did you by any chance get tips on which career path would suit you and how to build yourself? You mentioned that you didn't know anything about that, but I just want to be sure if it's because the information was there, you didn't have access to it, or you basically didn't get access to the info.
Okay, so I think somewhere level 300, I was actually selected to be part of MasterCard Foundations with the African Leadership Academy in Johannesburg. That training took about a month.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, to train us on how to make it in Africa, sort of. So it's the conscious mind that you make it here. So you have to revolve here and do a lot in Africa here. But then, I personally didn't have a clear, mind that, okay, so right after Liaison, you actually go in here. Or right after maybe like school, you would want to be a banker, or you would want to work in an insurance firm. We had the mind that maybe possibly we are definitely going to do something. Because I liked a bit of the corporate communications. I thought most definitely I'm going to, do that. But not that to be certain that you're actually going to work here. So I think throughout the program, I followed from the beginning, actually. And to be frank, I was also interested in sharing to friends who would want to join, because I felt that we were all in the same soup. Yeah, because we actually reading the same courses. The courses that I taught in the English and political science actually wouldn't teach you about banking. It definitely wouldn't teach you about soft skills and money management or entrepreneurship. Though some of the UGRC courses taking a bit of, touch a bit of entrepreneurship, but most definitely wouldn't, go into details. So I did not really have a clear idea about what I was actually going to do. At a point, I didn't even want to do national service. I was like, just get me some masters and just let me read and we proceed. So getting in here, getting to the ready to work, I got to know that, so you can use your soft skills. I think that session was done by the founder of the school. Is it Ashesi University? Yeah, so
Patrick.
Yes, Mr. Patrick Ewua.
Yes.
So it was there that I got to know that, okay, so I can use my soft skills to do this. I can use to do that. So I got to know, well, I'm able to a bit convince people on something. So, or better explain, things to people. So if I get into the finance space, maybe possibly I can better explain something like insurance, which is a bit complex to people. So all these things actually, made me go interested in working in the finance space, if you ask me.
I like that. Now, I was going to find out the same thing from them, but I think I have bits and bits of the answers in there. But I'm going to break down the different modules that we've had on the webinar, bits by bit. We'll touch on the money skills, the soft skills, employment, preparing your CVs, and that. Since I have you guys here, we are at the receiving end. I've had people come on here to talk to us about employability, how people don't prepare themselves well for the jobs and that. Interviews. How do you, before you got involved in the webinar or the modules for Ready to Work, how were you approaching job interviews? Let me start with you, Angie.
Well,
let's be very honest.
Yes, I'm being very honest. I think as an HR student, I very well knew, or I had a fair idea about what interviews look like. And being an HR student, I knew what the person at the other end would expect. So I was very good with that. I knew what they would expect, what a CV should look like, questions they will ask. And I learned outside the box too, because there's social media, YouTube, we have lots of videos and all that. So I very well had a fair idea about interviews.
But when you meet your fellow young guys, people you intern with, and that, do you think it's skills people lack
Yes.
due to the fact that there's not much information?
Definitely, a lot of people lack skills in those. Because sometimes you would see someone and the person wants to get a job or claims to be looking for a job, but you ask the person a question and the countenance of the person alone would make you ask, are you really looking for a job? They can't even defend the reason why they are there, but they'll claim they are looking for a job. So it's something that really needs to be touched on.
And since you have HR study background, when you went through the model, the bits where we talk about preparing yourselves for jobs and that, were they spot on?
Perfect.
Perfect, right? Great.
I loved Absa for that.
You love that. And yours was the money skills, right?
Yes, but
You
in
want to add
relation
something
to
to
what
that?
she
Okay.
said with the CV skills, you realize most graduates, in fact, myself, I did it. I quite remember about 5 years ago, I used to teach in a certain school.
Okay.
So I had this opportunity for a different company. So what happened was I actually took a model of someone's CV and I just erased the names and
You edited it.
edited it to fit mine. And I realized along the line that some of the things that the person put inside,
That
I
is
put
not
it there.
you.
So when I went for the interview and they were asking me, I was stuck. So I realized that it's not about using somebody's formula which worked for the person, but through even the ready to work, we are guided in the proper way of scheduling the CV because before you go for an interview, your CV is supposed to speak for you. Yes, so that once you get there, you don't have to do much talking and then everything goes seamlessly.
Okay.
So just in a buttress to what
And
she
then
said.
back to you on the money skills bit as well. Before you, I mean, you mentioned that you thought you were a guy man, you know, me at Day Street, I'll go manage my money and that. What were some of the serious things you picked from that particular, you know, webinar that we had? The important key things that you picked from improving yourself when it comes to money skills.
Yes, so some of the important things were the savings culture, what to use your money for, and basically what not to use your money on. Again, when we say what to use your money for, we feel like we are matured. We already know the things to use the money for. But when you leave money at home and you are not using it for anything, it is worse than even you
Going
not
out to
having
going,
it.
right?
Yes. So you are taught how to invest, how to do proper investments. And currently I work with an insurance company.
Okay.
So it's made it very easy for me to sell the products, to sell the policies. Because you meet people and they tell you they don't have any reason to do insurance. I met a certain man and he told me if it was not because of police, he would never sign on to insurance because he would drive his car just like that. So you realize that you have to do a bit of more education so that they understand what the products are about. And so with Ready to Work, when you enter the portal, when you enter the module on money skills, you realize that all these details have been embedded there and it helps.
I must really apologize to Nana Uso at this point. I think before we started the conversation, I thought he was going to be the shy one. But it's really impressing me with how he's going hard on things. Not to say you guys are not doing it though. But then at this point, let's find out from all of us. I mean, we can take turns with it. Do you think we need another year of Absa's Ready to Work? The webinar? The model is still on though, but do you think we should continue it? Honestly?
Definitely.
Yeah.
More yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I think that on the bit of entrepreneurship and savings. So I think over this month, I mean, like for the past 5 months, if we've had the conversation on Facebook, where it is now known that the government payroll is full.
Yeah.
So right after school, you need to find, you know, your own work or try and start something new. And I think that, I mean, they've made serious points about it that even if you look at the budget that was presented this year, it is captured in there where they actually want to help youth with funding so that they can start their own businesses. So I believe in that though, that I mean, if we are able to start our own businesses, possibly we would be able to change the world. Unlike the US model, where I mean the power lies in the hands of like the people to start their own business. That's actually a very good strategy. But I mean to say that entrepreneurship is something that should be hard hit on. So I was actually glad when, you know, the model, you know, they talk about entrepreneurship, you know, as a whole thing,
When
because
we demystified things in there.
and I mean, I think the last but one session where Hikma talked also about the savings and investment. So when we started National Service, I think we had this guy from a different bank speak to us about investment. You know, so we were like, but National Service money is around 600 Ghana cedis, 559. How do you save? I'm like, oh, you can do a standing order on the money, so that every month, let's say you contribute this amount of money to your fund.
Savings.
I think that when people got to really understand what the savings and investment was, and their idea about whether to start a new business actually helped, because when you have a capital, let's say by the end of National Service, let's say you have 5,000 Ghana cedis. If you are a graphic designer, if you know how to do video editing, if you are good in these media photography, you'll be able to start something new with 5,000 Ghana cedis, because you actually do not need bricks and block to start your business with that. So I think the area of entrepreneurship blended with savings and
Money skills.
savings and investment should really be hard hit on, because most of the times you meet people, young people, they have good idea. I mean, they have a clear business model, but even the funding becomes a problem, because the risk in giving a young businessman a loan to start a business,
How to even arrange things,
you know,
have a business plan, all that. You can have the idea, it's not to catch you, but then how to even present it to whoever might be a potential funder for you even becomes an issue.
So I think that, I mean, that model, if we are to start again,
we should bring that one back in.
We should bring that maybe like in. I think you should have about two different sessions, two different sessions, so that
in addition to yours, the entrepreneurship skills. Now, when you look in Ghana, everybody says he's self-employed. Everybody is an entrepreneur. Nobody wants to be under anybody. But with the Ready to Work, you are guided properly. It's not about just starting it.
I like what I'm
because it is easy to start something, and then you realize that from researchers, it is shown that most people who have businesses collapse at the first year or in less than 5 years.
True.
So you can start the business, but if you don't have the knowledge about it, it will go down. So in the Ready to Work, it gives you a lot of information. I wish we could have just gone through on the board for people to see what I'm talking about. But anytime that this program is supposed to come up again, it's supposed to be really taught.
So just to add to what you said, I mean, we can have it on the screens, but we have everything on YouTube. And that's one thing I always push my friends to do. Get on YouTube, search for Absa Ghana. Every single webinar we've had on here, every single edition of the Ready to Work platform on here, we still have it there. You can still go watch the whole show and pick your favorites from there. And then in addition to that, sign up to the platform and also get all that you need to get. Angie, you didn't share yours.
Yeah, I think I support Nano Usu.
Okay.
Yes, because here in Ghana, everybody wants to be a CEO. And they start the business, things are going smoothly. But you see, along the line, they start looking for investors. That's the reason why you started a business. Because investors only invest in profitable businesses.
Wow.
You would have to show something for it, for somebody to invest in you. So you don't start the business to go or with the mentality of, if somebody invests in my business, I'll make this amount of money. I want to be rich. You don't get rich by investors. You make the business profitable for somebody to deem it fit to invest in. So I think there is more to being a CEO than just having the title of a CEO or just saying, I'm self-employed.
I'm impressed. I mean, I never really get dumbfounded on here, but I'm really impressed by the kind of opinions you guys are drawing in there. One thing I would like us to discuss too is technology. We had a bit, one of the sessions where we talked about, entrepreneurship and taking advantage of how digitized things are now, during our age. Technology, we all have mobile phones, we all have an iPad or, any technology-driven device of some sort. Do you think young people our age are taking good advantage of internet and how fast things are moving when it comes to technology with regards to our financial systems, employment, entrepreneurship, all these things that we mentioned, money skills and that? Our panelists did share a lot of insight on how we can go about things, but on the ground, in reality, are people doing it? Are we taking advantage of these things? Who wants to start for me? No?
Okay, so I think that if you look at the space of growth in Africa, in the next decade, you have about, I think our population will increase about 1.3 billion, with the average age being 24 years. So the whole continent of Africa become very youthful. Means that there's the growing,
Good chance of productivity.
transformation of technology has become very relevant that we cannot, do without it. And for the period of, I mean, like 10 years back, we actually didn't have all these, but now we have it. For us to, I mean, run at the back of technology to grow as a people is what definitely every government policy or possibly we are all looking at. I think that the current trend of the use of technology is, I wouldn't say it's best, but I think we are trying. If you look at what is happening with the fintechs, speaking of what people are doing in Nigeria, looking at what possibly ZPay is doing in Ghana, and the others are all, trying to do a lot in Ghana with fintech especially. I think we are getting there. But to me, it shouldn't be just with the payment systems. It should be, more of investment, more of savings, more of how to, get a youth on board, so that if let's say today Absa launched an app, how well are we going to use it as a youth, rather than we spending time to stay on Facebook for about 3 hours. Yesterday,
even with that, I can defend. if someone decides to stay on Facebook for 3 hours,
maybe he's watching Ready to Work.
Exactly.
I mean,
and then another one. So
granted. Yesterday, a friend of mine mentioned that, I mean, TikTok is a deep hole that if you get in there, possibly you would want to spend about 2 hours there.
Yes.
So I believe that what we actually need to do is that what we are using this for. Because currently, with the use of social media, we are able to put these governments on toes. I mean, for them to fix our roads, for them to do this. But I think that, and I see young people also, doing well with their businesses on Facebook, on WhatsApp. But I think that we should move away from just posting.
There's a traditional
ways of doing things, and rather how we are going to use technology to affect education in Africa. How we are going to use it to improve on, the young education in the primary schools and also in the secondary schools. Because if you actually go to most of these secondary schools in Ghana, IT is not a big thing. People do not even know how to use Excel. People do not know how to use Word. Even in the universities, people actually find it very difficult to use Excel. I am speaking from the point that I read English and political science. If you don't go to the business school where people normally use Excel, or Word that we normally use to type our essays, I mean, we don't bother about using Excel. We don't bother about using the PowerPoint.
There are no calculations.
It is,
exactly.
I mean, like, so I think that we should, as young people, where we are evolving during this period, where we'll be moving out of school to be looking for jobs, we should have all these skills hands-on. And I think that it's something that it has really been talked about with the Ready to Work, and how possibly we should be able to have that skills, use tech to evolve. Because in the next decade, as I did mention, we are going to take out the space in Africa, because the average age is 24 years in the next decade, and it's a young population, if you ask me.
In addition to his own,
Nana is always adding. In addition.
Okay, so I'm a former student from Ghana Telecom, just over
GT.
So I have a bit of background in IT.
Yes.
But most of it, what I realized was, I ended up teaching for my national service. So I quite didn't use it that much. And afterwards, I was supposed to use it because currently I'm in Gimpa. So doing business, you need to use the Microsoft Excel and stuff like that. But I realized that with app developers who are now coming, most of the people, what they do is they just want to create an app for creating it. But it's supposed to solve a problem. It's the problem that would bring out the usefulness of the app you've created. If someone, that's why I've seen something like Shagzy, which Shatawale has done. And I'm sure there's an app in whatever they are going to do. It's supposed to solve a problem. If you are setting up a business for a local farmer somewhere, how is he going to navigate around the portal? You are supposed to make the applications easy to use so that any parents don't know how to even go about it. So whatever the youth are doing now is supposed to solve a problem. In the Ready to Work, all the models there are directed to help upcoming graduates to transition into the working environment. Because right from school, you don't have any skills.
Yeah.
The truth be told. If they put you in an office and they tell you, do this,
now, you don't know what to do.
you'll be lost.
Be panicking.
So at least you can go through these things in the house and then get a grips on them before you start working properly. I think,
Angie?
yeah.
Well, I think technology as a whole is not really appreciated here in Ghana, precisely, because people go to universities to study IT. Okay, IT or information technology solves a whole lot of problems. When you go outside, we have firms that have app builders, programmers over there that they can go and intern. But people end up studying IT and they're like, after school, what do I do? Even if I want to be an entrepreneur, you would automatically be limited to being a graphic designer, doing photocopy here and there. So no parents would want their child to do IT, because afterwards they'll ask you, what are you going to do? You want to open a printing shop or a printing press, because there is no essence with what you studied. That is how Ghana limits you in terms of technology. But we also get limited in the sense that we don't fully use even the one we have.
Yes.
It's a 50-50. People use technology to make money. When you go on Instagram, we have ambassadors there.
Influencers.
Yes,
Yeah, influencers.
influencers, ambassadors, advertising for brands. They don't go to work, but they make a whole lot of money, more than somebody who is even sitting in a corporate environment. The person is making money with that. So if you sit there and see, if I also take a picture, maybe I can make money with that. It might not work for you. Why don't you try something else? So technology in Ghana is quite diverse, depending on where you are coming from. And I think it should be more open for people who are studying IT, because they really need it. They can't go to school and come and open a printing press or doing photocopy or something. Somebody has the passion. I'm not even sure they can find a firm in Ghana where they can intern. I'm not sure I know a technology firm like that in Ghana.
There are a couple, yes.
Yeah.
There are a couple.
Software group.
I know about Absa. I know Absa has a tech department that picks interns.
Yeah.
The development of the Ready to Work, how these things all work. So there are, but people don't really
Make use of them.
yes, make good use of it. And a lot of them, would say they don't have the prerequisite, skills to accessing these things. That is part of the main
But you see,
reasons why
all
we have-
these ones you are mentioning are embedded
Yeah.
in a bigger community. But do we have that big firm that says this
This
is
is
technology? That you can find
yeah.
somebody doing this, somebody doing this.
Yeah.
Outside, we have Google there. You have other programming companies or firms over there that gives them large opportunities for them to even explore with their talents. But here in Ghana, we
I'll
don't
tell you
have
what,
that.
I love action calls like this. I mean, it starts from now. Let's just say someone is sitting out there with a huge chunk of money waiting to do an investment. Who do I even invest in? And I remember you mentioned this earlier,
Exactly.
that people are kind business ideas waiting for investment. If we as young people, and I say we as young people because today we have people of around the same age, pretty much, sitting here discussing things that are important to our development. If we're to take charge of our future and take charge of now and put ourselves in places where we can actually build on our skills and take advantage of the right opportunities, discover the problems and find solutions, we'll probably get to a point where we'll have a space like that,
Exactly.
with enough funding to give rise to a lot of opportunities for other people and the rest. One thing I'd like us to discuss, I pray I don't forget this bit. Okay, so it has to do with the myths that we had. I am the host of the Ready to Work platform, but before I got on here, I always thought if I have my savings in my savings account or I'm saving my money, I am investing in my future.
Yes.
But then Hikma came, and I think before Hikma, I had one of my other guests coming through, the guy that did the Forex education. I've forgotten his name, but he should forgive me. I know he's watching. I got to know that when I decide to just put money aside, I'm not investing in my future.
Yeah.
I'm just saving the money. I'm not making my money work for me. So
Yeah.
today we discussed the money skills. We talked about making money, keeping money, making your money work for you, and then making sure the money doesn't leave you. On that particular one, and of course maybe beyond, what are some of the myths you had or you had heard of that were sort of like cleared or debunked in the journey of Ready to Work so far? It could be different. It shouldn't
Before
necessarily be-
I did the Ready to Work.
Yes, things that you believed in. It can be you can say as many as you had.
Okay,
Okay,
so,
so growing up,
Let Angie go first.
So growing up, I think there was a saying that says that you die and leave the money there.
Yeah.
Or when you save in the bank, when you die, it is the bank that takes the money. And me personally, growing up, when my mother gives me money, I sleep with the money in my hand like this. And by the time I wake up, the money is gone. My mother told me, if you had spent it, the money wouldn't be missing. So growing up, there were a lot of myths about saving money and everything. But I think over time, I've seen that there's a difference between savings and then investments. Because when you invest, interest comes on it. But when you save, it's just the minute amount that comes on that money. And money today isn't money tomorrow. The same value of 1 cedi today won't be the value of 1 cedi tomorrow. So you just saving in your bank account thinking you're saving money. Maybe today, 1,000 cedis will be worth something. You can do something. But what about tomorrow? 1,000 cedis can't do anything. So I think investing money is way better than you just saving the money and looking at your account and you're smiling. My account is becoming bigger and bigger. So investment
before Nana comes in, also one thing I'd like to add to that bit is that if you're just saving money and you're just investing, you might be doing the right thing, but make sure you don't blend both, or make sure you don't get confused in the course of that.
Yeah.
Let's say you're saving money towards your education or saving towards an unforeseen circumstance. You might fall sick, right?
Yeah.
Fire might gut your building. Your auntie or uncle might fall sick. That should come from your savings. You're saving towards something. It's in your savings. But if you pick money to invest, also you might want to be extra careful about what you invest in. If you're investing, some might be over a long term, short term, so that if you pick money and save, just like you said, you have 100,000
Exactly.
and you decide to invest it into a business. It means if you go in for a long term, based on the terms that are around it, you don't have access to that money until it
sure.
grows. Okay, so try and find the perfect balance between your savings and your investments as a young guy, just so you don't find yourself wanting. Because I know people who have a lot of money in investments, but don't have money now in case a situation comes up. Because there are plans around it.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, something happens to you, you fall sick right now, you need 10,000 Ghana cedis. The investment agreement was such that I pay you after 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay, and so until then, I can't bring
can't
my
give you
back
the
for you.
money.
The money is working for you somewhere. So, as a young guy or young woman, find all you need to find out from these, and then make sure you do the right thing at the right time. Money skills on the side. Or you still want to add to that?
yeah, something later. So another myth which I know is very common. Most people say that if you are born in a rich family, you would have to be rich. Especially in Ghana. You have to be the son of some of these big men before you can make it, you know.
No.
But you realize that even in the Ready to Work model, most people do not become rich just by chance. They take steps. Some of the steps are investing, as you were talking about. And there are so many things to invest your money in. But just that you have to be careful not to want it too quick, because you might end up losing your money all the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think with the savings and investment bit, the last model, Hikma actually nailed it. So I believe that our viewers actually, did learn, like myself, where she differentiated between the savings and the investments, that at least you should, have your savings and you have the investment. People actually push everything to investment. If they're hard hit, emergency, they actually don't have access to money. So I think that that is what I have learned from the Ready to Work, because initially I used to do that. Because my investment platform allows me to even give 200 cedis.
Okay.
So even if I get 200 cedis, I would want to push.
Inside.
Right. So I think that we learned a lot from the last model, where Hikma actually nailed it. So That's what I learned. Yeah.
All right. So at this point, I will take questions from all of us at home. If you have a suggestion, any of the questions that you've answered, I mean, I believe we're all here and there at the same time. So if you have any personal experience to share, anything you learned over the period of, the webinar that we've had at the Ready to Work platform, kindly share it with us. If you're also on the platform and you would like to share your thoughts and opinion on any of the things that you've learned in the journey, kindly share that with us as well. Guys, I want to find out from us, okay? So I think we touched on it briefly. In the near future, if we're to roll out, what other sectors do you think we should touch on beyond this? You mentioned that you might want us to bring back the entrepreneurial bit.
Yeah.
What else do you think we should touch on? Hard one, right?
Well, yeah, I think for me the model or it's great. it's really great. It touches on everything basically.
It's broad enough.
Yeah, it's broad enough for everybody.
Iman,
That's even if you have entrepreneurial skills, you might not have this skill, so you still fit in there. And if you have that skill, it improves it all, makes it better.
Too.
Yeah, but I think it doesn't touch more about the HR aspect. It only talks about interviews and then CV. But what about when you get on the job? Agility.
Okay, so it prepares you for the job, but when you get in there,
yes, what happens?
I think we had a webinar about that.
Yeah.
About
with Monica. Interviewing the right way.
Exactly, interview the right way, and then the kind of relations to have. After you get employed, you don't call your boss at 11 p.m.
Exactly.
All these basic things. And so just to touch on that, we have all these on the platform as well. On the Ready to Work platform, it's readytowork.absa.africa. I'll get on the website once again, but you can get on our YouTube right away and look through the various episodes that we've had. The one on work skills, I think it's in there. You might just want to go through it and then, but we'll still amplify that. Since you mentioned, just touch up on that bit, add some more.
So when you get on the job, what happens in there? Agility. You don't go there to be ready to be spoon-fed. Maybe you don't have any formal, let's say, training, or you've not had any work experience before. But when you go there, ask questions. Build on yourself. Connection. Connect with people.
Learn a new skill.
Do something that if someone is not, you say, oh, she can replace him. Even as somebody who is starting, you should be able to know petty things that happen in there that when the next person is not there, you can fit in. Without having to wait and say, I'm waiting for my boss to come, or I'm waiting for the person to come. It improves you, the person, rather than making the person or make you feel like I'm doing the person's job for the person. It doesn't do anything to you. So you should just know how to do the job on the job and try to learn on the job too.
All right. You might hold your horse. Let's quickly take a break. If you have a question, kindly put it in here. You're still watching Ready to Work, powered by Absa. That's African ICT.
Everyday life. Everyday life.
All right, welcome back to Ready to Work, powered by Absa. Before we went on that break, we're discussing, the few things my panelists would like Absa to add to the Ready to Work platform. We heard from Angie. Let's quickly go to Ima.
Yeah, I think that I would, as I did mention, I would actually want to add that we should be hard on the entrepreneurship bit, and also if possibly we could explore like the industries, for instance, because sometimes I have friends who are doctors. I mean, like young doctors. They think that I just get to the lab room, or I just get to the clinic, or get to the consulting room, and that's all. I think that they can also, venture into the medicine business, where even
Pharmaceuticals.
possibly maybe like they can have a portal, let people ask them about health issues, book appointments online. All
Yeah,
these
yeah.
things are businesses that they can explore. So I think that we should get in there, get the details of it. Entertainment, medicine, pharmacy, nursing can all be a form of entrepreneurship. So I think that the Absa Ready to Work should should hard hit
We should just
on
open our
open the
space a little
space
bit.
for that model, so that we can get more people, more young people conscientized that when you are ready, when you are from school, you don't wait to be employed. But then I think we can start our own small thing. Looking at the models that were discussed, I think that when followed, we will be able to do a lot.
All right, Nana. Nana just called me, said. Yeah.
So I'm a teacher for a long time. So when I looked at the models actually, I realized that I've written the same notes before. So I was like, so we should put in the bank, we're able to sit down and write these things. And it just covers everything you need to know before you even start working. So I think it's very precise, very concise. But I will add that.
Continue.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would only add that the Ready to Work portal should, I don't know, but if you can travel across the universities,
So we should have like a live show.
no, like actually a course, because in Gimpa, those of us who are in the business
That's a lot
school,
of, okay, wait.
those of
I
us who are in
like
the business school in Gimpa, there's a course, practitioners forum. I know my course mates are watching. It does something like this. So if there can be a form of a liaison with them, yes, so that
Wow.
they'll really know what they are
That's
about.
a very great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I know the team will pick this up. I mean, so basically, what he's trying to say is we should have Ready to Work get to a point where it becomes an ample part of our education system, so much that when you enter the university or you are in any tertiary institution, nursing, finance, technology, there's a portal that helps you get ready to work.
Yeah.
Per the language of the particular field you find yourself
Yeah.
in. So if it's in medicine, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
we know these are the things you do if you want to fit in a medical field in the near future, right? So we'll definitely look into that and then make it happen. But I'll pick two questions from our viewers at home. Now, messaging here from Othniel Amankwa Dakwa. Good morning, going out to you, Othniel. It says, please, I want to know if the Absa Ready to Work program is available or it's just for a limited number of people. I'm asking this because I told a friend of mine to participate in the program and it comes out he couldn't join. Well, I will quickly answer this. It's available for all of us, but there's an age limit as to who can get on the Ready to Work platform, okay, to get the modules between 16 and 35. But beyond that, the webinar is for all of us. No age limit from age 1 to infinity. So long as you can listen, you can watch and then see us on here, you're ready to work with us on the platform. This next one says, hearing about this, okay, good program. My first time hearing about this. Oh, Michael Kratting, you're late. Good time. First time hearing about this. Miss Angela has lots of potential in the corporate world. Kudos on that.
Thank you.
Michael goes on to say, good morning. Okay, all right, that's a repetition on there. Donato says, yeah, we can hear you. Okay, so people are very excited at home about this. I personally have learned so much. I mean, I did economics, as I mentioned. I did political science. Ideally, I'm supposed to be in here working with Absa, but I diverted a bit to go and do my journalism and then look where God has brought us. We're here again.
Back to Absa.
Yeah, exactly. Back to Absa doing our thing, working. But it's all good. As we wrap up, I'd like to just entreat people at home. The platform is readytowork.absa.africa. Okay, readytowork.absa.africa. That is the website to log in. But there's great news now. Beyond all that we've done over the period of time, we are introducing, we've actually introduced, it's actually live now. There's an app, okay? So if you don't want to log on to the platform to go and study and get all the modules, now we have a whole community called the Ready to Work community, and it's on every app store. It's on the Huawei app gallery. That's the newest one. We have it on there. It's live on Apple's App Store, and Google Play Store. So for my Android users, my Huawei users, my Apple users, you have the opportunity of getting closer to your future by downloading the Ready to Work platform. Just search for Ready to Work. It's beautifully designed, same design on there. Get on there and connect with a lot of these guys. There are people who are giving life skills. When I say life skills, they're giving you the right tips that you need. So unlike sitting here to wait for us to come on the webinar to give you the skills that you need, you can interact with people who are already employed in the field that you'd like to learn in. Ask questions, interact with them, connect with people on there, get to see updates. Every single thing that Absa has to offer for you will be on there for you on the Ready to Work app. Plus, we get to equip you to get into the right position for your future and then now. So take advantage of that. I would entreat my panelists to, be the first ambassadors of the app.
Sure.
Just download
Definitely.
it now. Let's explore it and then share our opinion and thoughts on it. Whatever it is that you feel about the app, make sure you share it on our socials. Okay, Absa Ghana across all platforms. Just go on there, let people know what you think about the app. I have, downloaded it and I'm loving it already. So you might want to get in as well. We're wrapping up. Any final words to your friends, your colleagues? Why should people join Ready to Work? Tell them something.
Okay, so
Let's look over there for them.
So, as I did mention earlier, looking at the growth rate in Africa, in the next decade, we will increase population to 1.3 billion. And the average age is 24 years. So, it means that we would have to do a lot to catch up. We would have to do a lot to catch up with the other continent, looking at the pace of development happening in our world. It's a good thing that Absa is doing so that at least in their own way, trying to train the young people for the next decade, trying to help people evolve and revolve, trying to bring the entrepreneurial spirit in people. But what can we also do as youth to help ourselves to catch up with all these development happening in the world? Is what we must take advantage of the technology in here, social media, work on our savings, work on how to connect with people. If you find yourself in a workspace, how to do relate with people. And I think that throughout all these, we will be able to affect the change that we actually want to see, because the change in Africa is what we are all looking forward to. So I believe that when we do this, when we connect, when we bring up new businesses, we'll be able to develop our economies. And that is what we are all, looking forward to seeing.
Thank you so much, Emma, for that. Angie.
Okay, so I think irrespective of who you are, learning is something that we do every day, every time. You'll still be a learner regardless of the qualifications you have. Okay, so it doesn't hurt to know these stuff. You are in school. Being in school automatically makes you a student, but it doesn't make you a learner. Try to look outside your course. Read outside, read wide. Strive to know more. Be curious about things that are happening on the outside world, because that is something that no school will teach you. No school will teach you unless you want to see it for yourself. Then you try the app. We are live on Play Store, like you said, and all that. You can also go on the websites, learn all these things. It helps you, the individual. It doesn't help anybody. And I think if you're able to understand these things, the unemployment mentality that when I complete school, I'm now going to sit at home after my national service, I'm waiting for somebody to employ me, that perception would reduce. You would rather see value in who you are. It makes you extra. And right now, every recruiter is looking for something extra, not what you bring or your CV or something, or your degree or your qualification. They're not looking for that. It is what makes you extra. In HR, we have threshold competencies and differentiating competencies. The threshold competency is the one that everybody, the minimum qualification everybody should have to get a job. Now you have that. What is your differentiating competency? What makes you different from the other person? What do you bring to the table that would have to take you? This gives you that idea. Even if you're not looking for a job, you are the job. You can get yourself a job by your own self. You don't have to go around thinking there are no jobs in the country, there are no this. What are you doing for yourself? So when you get to know all these stuff, it suits you, the human being. It makes you a better person, knowledgeable in most aspects. So I think it's quite educational. You really need to join in on that.
I like that. I like what you said. Nana, what do
Thank
say
you.
everything?
So this goes to all my guys in Tema and to all the young men in Ghana, everybody. The Ready to Work portal, everybody should get it on his or her phone. It's very, very helpful. And I would say that nobody has it all, but as you continue to learn and continue to sharpen your skills, you become the best that you could ever be. So don't keep on failing, don't keep on trying, or don't keep on being where you are. Just try as much as you can. You can always make it. And the Absa portal is open to everybody, and make sure you get it. Thank you.
I like how we've all turned into motivational speakers at this point. I love this. Guys, thank you so much for staying with us throughout. It's been a beautiful hour. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us on here. These are proud products of the Ready to Work platform. It's real. And, we've done a couple of months on this, but we promise something bigger and better in the coming years. I mean, of course, next season is next year. We are in the festive season, so just take your time. Do protect yourself, by the way. COVID is on the rise. Stay safe and make sure you equip yourself. The app is live now. Just Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Gallery, App Gallery. Get on there and download it. Or just log on to www.readytowork.absa.africa. Do stay safe and have a wonderful Christmas. Do enjoy your holidays. I'll catch you next season right here on Ready to Work. My name is Eskin. Good morning and have a wonderful day.
Everyday life, oh.